Welcome everyone to another episode of Against All Odds, and this time we got something special for you because instead of having a handicap caused by the game or very strong players against you, this time I made a handicap for myself. And maybe you might be able to guess what it is by how I was turning around. I had maxed out my sensitivity to 100%. Normally I play at 25%, and this change made me the drunkest player in the universe. As you can see, I had no idea what I was doing anymore, and the beauty of this sorry, okay, it looks horrible and it's going to look horrible for 2 or 3 minutes more, but the beauty of it is that by the time I actually die, I'm second on the scoreboard, and that completely amazed me, and I figured that was worth an Against All Odds episode. And by the end of the match our team has won and I got the MVP too. After a few minutes I actually lowered the sensitivity from 100% to 50% because it was just impossible to work with, and you'll have to forgive me if I'm laughing at my own antics again because it really does look horrible at some points. But 50% is twice as high as what I'm used to playing with, so the whole match I'm sort of playing completely chaotically, not doing what I should be doing. As you can see, I'm so overwhelmed by not being able to control my character properly that I haven't noticed pretty basic things like having a double squad perk. As you can see, I have the suppression one, and somebody else in my team does as well, but at this point I'm not paying much attention to that. As you can see, I ran through to the next flag and I'm now hoping that nobody is going to show up and try to take it from me. Which, of course, I didn't really have that luck. Here he is. And this is why luck is more important than skill. I really didn't believe I would win that. I was just laughing when I got that kill because it was so unlikely. But in this match, we did win, and that's in great part due to the fact that I was in a pretty strong team. But it was a pretty close match, and I still think that despite all my drunken walking, I contributed to this. But yeah, look at what I do here. I try to aim, I fail, and then I want to knife him. I don't know why I want to knife him in his face, but instead I lie down, because pressing the stick is knifing in Syndicate, a game I've been playing earlier that day. So instead of knifing him, I decided to lie down with him and then died. Now, as you can see, the opposite team is putting up some opposition for sure, and what I do throughout this match is just run for the flags, and I think I'm even more obsessed with running for the flags than normal because I clearly feel that I can't aim or control my character very well at all right now. So it automatically makes me only focus on the objective. As you can see, even stairs are way too complicated at this point. Yes, and that's how far I wanted to turn. I would have been able to do that a lot better if it wasn't for the sensitivity. And here I'm thinking, should I turn it down? Should I not turn it down? And in the end I figured this is just too much. Ridiculous challenge. As you can see, it was 100%. I'm going down to 50. And as I said, what I'm used to is 25%, so I'm still playing pretty crazily in the beginning. It's what I've been playing with for the last few weeks, and my accuracy has gone down from about 15% accuracy to 12% accuracy. But the reason I'm doing this actually is because if you can play on a higher sensitivity, if you can, aim as accurately and basically look around effectively with that, then you're basically increasing the speed at which you can play. It means you can look around faster, it means you can acquire your targets faster. So basically I decided from the day I recorded this match, which is a few weeks ago, that I was going to train myself up to be able to deal with the higher sensitivity. But as you can see, 100% sensitivity was a ridiculous challenge, and but the 50% sensitivity, it sort of works. I mean, yeah, and damages my accuracy, and my target acquisition is a lot more erratic than it was before, that's for sure. But at the same time, I can look around and move around much more quickly, and I feel it's it's a healthy challenge, and it increases the subjective speed of the game for yourself, you know? It's like you feel everything's going faster if you look around faster. I've even had a few people ask me if I was playing on PC at some point, because I got so used to actually looking around, you know, in these fast jerky movements that people use with the when they have a mouse and keyboard, and not so much when they're using a controller. So, but my tip from experience is not to increase your sensitivity too quickly. As you can see, the match is still pretty balanced, and I'm mostly focusing on the A and the C flag, which whenever I'm thinking a bit about what I'm doing is pretty much the smartest thing to do, because B can really be a death trap. Yeah, one thing to think about is when you're lying prone somewhere, it's a good way to hide, but it's not a good way to stay alive, because your head is basically the first thing people will shoot when you're prone. Another thing is that when somebody is taking your flag but they never got to neutralize it, then you can sit there and take it back, but you won't get any points for it. So if you're sure there's no threat there anymore, you can just leave and it will reset itself to full while you're gone, so you don't have to sit there and retake it. And now I lost almost all the flags, so I tried to spawn into C as quickly as I can. And there's a vehicle here. Whenever you can see vehicle fire, but you don't see anything on your minimap, then it's an enemy. As you can see, we sort of lost our hold on the enemy here, which I don't think I was really noticing it that much at the time. I'm mostly just focusing on taking the flags. But I wasn't really sure where to look in this case, as there were people dying all over the place, enemies coming in from different directions, and by the time I looked there, they're already gone again. Walking through the direct line of fire, also not exactly optimal. Then you see, I saw a bunch of skulls there. I figured, you know, I'm gonna keep looking this way, and then I can't aim worth shit. I get a lot of suppression assists in this match from aiming in the general direction of where I know the enemies are, but not being able to actually shoot them well enough to kill them. But that way you do actually rank up a lot of points, and I think that's a really nice mechanic in Battlefield 3, because you can really contribute to the firefight even when you don't have that pinpoint precision, or if you're not on the top of your game or whatever else, you can really still contribute by just shooting in the general direction of the enemy. Simply for points sake, if a flag is almost taken, you can jump to go faster and just get into the burn just on time to get the points. It doesn't really matter for gameplay reasons, like you don't really help out by doing that, but it's a nice way to earn points really, especially if you were already running in that direction and you're really too late to actually contribute. Oh, this is actually an interesting point, is I couldn't kill that guy, but he expected me to come to the door, and instead I run past the door, and then I show up here, and I don't think he was expecting that, and that's why I could kill him. So when you're in this sort of a standoff where you know where the enemy is, and you know that he knows where you are, but you don't have a direct line of sight to him, then the trick to winning those types of battles is to try to find a route that the other guy won't expect. So think about what is your reflex? Your reflex to run through the door, like in the previous case. Don't do that. Go around, go in an unexpected direction, so you actually end up shooting them in the back or the side or whatever else. Good players will do that back to you, and then you'll actually meet each other halfway. And in that case, it helps a lot to actually keep your sights pretty high, so that you immediately go for the headshot when you hip fire. Not something I do all the time, especially not when I have this really high sensitivity that I have now and I'm not used to at all. Here you can see one of the things I do very often in the way I move around is that I will go somewhere nobody else is going. So my whole team was running toward B, and then I'm like, shit, why am I running behind this herd of people? And instead I run back and flank around to A. And that's really the way to both help your team win, get a lot of points by capping the flags, and also to get a bit more control over the situation. Because you can, it's easy and natural to try and run after, run in the same direction all the other guys are going. Especially if you spawn in that direction, everybody's running in that direction. If you just take a second and actually think, wait, is this the smartest thing to do? Then often you'll find that, no, maybe it's better if I run the other way. And it'll also space you out a bit. Because if you're all running in a pack, then you can easily be mowed down with one clip. Oh, check this pre-firing. I know I'm not gonna win, so I already sort of line up my shot of where I think he's going to be. And he's dead. I actually got a different guy, but they all sort of spawn in that general area, so the pre-firing, I pre-fire pretty bluntly, like I really start shooting way too early, and it works with the support guns because they have fairly big clips, but yeah, you can do it with a lot more finesse. I think Rival X Factor has some nice videos about that. But especially when, in this case, my sensitivity was so high that my aim was a complete mess, the pre-firing really helped because I just sort of lined up my shot and then used the strafing to actually line up my my crosshair instead of having to do the fine movements with my with the aiming of the gun. Now here I'm in an impossible position, 8% health, I'm stuck in a corner, I don't know how to actually run out and save myself, so instead I decide to push forward and hope to just take somebody with me. Again, the pre-firing technique, get one guy and of course die, because everybody can see there's a huge fight going on there, so they just keep chucking in the grenades and the RPGs and everybody's just firing through this hole to get the extra kills. So once you're there, the thing I prefer to do is just run away from a situation like that, to be honest, but I felt I was cornered and I figured I should just try to take somebody with me. Here I'm hesitating from where to spawn, because I'm thinking, do I want to spawn on my buddies and get stuck in the firefight again, or can I spawn a bit farther back? But luckily there was somebody I could spawn on that wasn't directly in the firefight. Now you can see the other guys have the advantage. They have 90 tickets, we have 74, but we're bleeding them. And still we're actually pushing up on B, which isn't exactly optimal because they're getting a lot of kills this way. And it's really slowing down the benefit that we have, because we would just bleed them. But on the other hand, we are sort of bottling them up there in the B corridor. So in that sense, if none of them escapes, it's pretty good. But at the same time, if any of them, if it actually occurs to them to go into their spawn and come from there, which is exactly what this guy did. I have no idea why he kept standing there though. I've been trying to actually not suicide when C4ing lately, especially not in a case like this where somebody's just in a car, but I guess I misjudged the distance a little and I couldn't really believe my luck that somebody actually just parked their car there outside of the burn and everything. Now this was a completely clumsy attack. There are a lot of enemies there, they're all hiding, they're all, doing the quick peeking, popping out, throwing grenades, shooting RPGs. And then I decide to even look up. It's a situation where you should basically just run away from, or you should be a bit more patient and pick off the guys who actually show their faces, or you need to pop in quickly, throw in a grenade, shoot in an RPG, whatever, the technique that apparently half the guys in there are using. But I didn't. One thing to remember, or what's a good trick to use is, or it's not really a trick, good habit to have, is whenever you C4 the vehicle, or basically use C4 for anything really, try to remember that you ran out, because there have been so many situations that I run up to a vehicle and I'm just like, shit, I already used all my C4, and to keep track of that can be a bit, confusing sometimes, because if the fight is really intense or something happens right after you use up your C4, then you might forget. So it's just a good habit to just throw out your ammo packs all the time. Doesn't matter if you think you need them or not, maybe somebody else needs them, maybe you need them, but especially, if you're support running C4, it's good to always be sure that you're stocked.
Hey, here's some ammo. Come and get it.
Yeah, but now I really expect guys to be in there. You can see all the skulls running along that corridor. but I'm trying not to die, so I'm actually using the quick peek technique that I should have used from the start. But you also need the space for that, and the moment that my teammates start looking there as well, you get this crowding effect, which is really what you don't want at all. Like, if somebody else starts using the spot that you're in, it's often better to just get the hell out, because you lose your freedom of movement. So you're trying to strafe away and from enemy shots, and you can't, because one of your buddies is standing next to you. So try to keep a few meters around you of free space, so that you can easily avoid bullets and pop back into cover. Here you see I should have had my sights up a bit higher, a bit more central. Should have been able to take this guy out before he took me out. But I was too far to the right and too far down with my aim. But I was trying to aim just simply by walking and not actually using the aiming mechanic itself, because of the high sensitivity, and it also increases the spread of your bullets, so that's really not optimal. Now, as you can see, we're winning. They only have 8 tickets left, but they were bleeding us actually. It was sort of a close thing, so we just needed to get those 8 kills. So instead of focusing on the flags now, 7 kills now, I was focused on getting the kills and not dying too much myself. And even if I just get the assists, it's fine too. I mean, it means that the guys are dead, which is good enough, you know? I haven't even acquired a target in there, and I just start shooting because you know that somebody's going to be in there. Pre-firing again. Doing it with support guns, big clips, you can just keep going. Last guy, and we won the game. So I hope that gave you sort of an idea of what kind of handicaps you can still win a game with. As you can see, top of my team and second MVP. Not so much because I aim very well or have any elite skills, but basically from running for the objectives and trying to play things in a bit of a smart way. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment or maybe even subscribe. Thank you for watching.